Hi, in today's video I'm going to do a third lesson on Unit 1 General Studies Challenges for Society for EDXL specification. Stuff I'm going to show you may also apply for other specifications for other exam boards, but today I'm going to go through that. So, what do you need to know for crime punishment for Unit 1? Well, you need to know the views for crime punishment, what's happened in the UK over the past 10 years, let's say. So, and we also need to know some other stuff, so let's go through that. So, in the UK, in the last 10 years, recorded crime, sorry my pen's dying, sorry about this. Sorry about that. Recorded crime has decreased, but the number of prisoners has increased. So that sort of contradicts the statement, really. So, recorded crimes decreased, but the amount of prisoners has increased, so contradicts the two, you could argue, potentially. Some say it shows imprisonment works well. Others argue against. Yeah, and although some crimes have decreased or fallen, other crimes have increased. Cybercrime, that's the one which is probably on the increase due to the increase in technology people have now, not just in the UK but in the world. So that's one potential thing to put for crime in the UK. Right. Also as well, in terms of crime, you need to know about some other stuff. Right, another thing you need to know is laws and civil liberties. Right, what are the two? What is the difference? Right. So, laws and rules have both similarities and differences. We all live under the rule of law. And different types of laws are made in different ways. One example of this could be the Representation of the People's Act. The suffragettes campaigned during World War II, I believe it was, to get women right to vote. So women got the right to vote. However, it was only up to people aged 21 and over for women. Then, in the 1960s, a law was passed which meant that all women from the age of 18 or above could vote in UK general elections as well as local elections. So that shows that a law's been brought in due to women wanting basically to have the same rights as men in terms of voting. So that's an example where a law was put into place due to women protesting about how their voting rights were not as equal as men. So that's an example there. Laws serve to protect the rights of people. They put the people first, but they also restrict freedom of individual. To behave as they wish. Different groups of people are affected by different types of crimes. Different types of crime. We've already mentioned this briefly, but different types of crime. These can be things such as burglary, murder, rape, cybercrime, those and other types of crime. There's probably more which you might be able to think of, but there are quite a few different types of crime committed in the UK. Some crimes are dealt with more severely. So some others are treated less seriously due to the different types of offences which would happen. Some stats in this may be unreliable, just to point out as well. Right, causes of crime. So why do people carry out these crimes? Some claim it's because of the government, basically becoming more stricter, so allowing more types of crime potentially to take place. Others suggest crime is decreasing just generally. And there's problems with the type of crime, detention of crime. Different police forces have different detection rates. And some crimes are more easily detected than others. Okay. What punishment is intended to achieve? Ideas of nature and types of punishment differ. Between different societies. Several different forms of punishment. These can be things such as capital punishment, imprisonment, community service, things like that, for different types of crime. People have different views about the effectiveness of punishment. The perpetrators of crime may be linked to the type of crime they commit, and some crimes are associated with social economic groups. So crimes linked. And some crimes are associated with socio-economic groups. Right, I'll just have a look at some other stuff related to this topic. Give me 30 seconds. So, rule of law. We mentioned this earlier. Restrictions of power by well-defined and established laws. Laws are binding on all members and written down. Been developed over a long period of time. They have enforced associated enforceable sanctions. For breaches of them. Okay, different types of laws. You have statutes, something like that. Laws approved by Parliament. You have common law. Developed over many years. Based on judicial precedents. You have European law. This can take precedence over UK law. And you have delegated legislation. Approved by institutions or government bodies. That's what they are. Are allowed to issue regulations. To clarify / extend. Statutes. Criminal law. Punished by fines or imprisonment, as I mentioned. Tried in the magistrates or Crown Court. investigated by police. Civil law is the other type of law. There you go. Individual has to bring the case. Courts determine responsibility and damages if appropriate. Responsibility and damages if appropriate. Respecting the law, some people may find it okay to break minor laws. Breaking speed limit, things like that. Using mobile phone while driving. This is seen as being unacceptable because it involves violence and harm could. It can affect everyone basically. What types of people can it affect? It can affect victims' families, housing estates, public transport, elderly, families of criminals. It can affect a lot of group, basically anyone, I would probably imagine. Alright, next thing to add in is Wilson and Kelling wrote a book called Broken Windows. Sorry about that. Broken Windows, that says. Sorry. It says that basically problems need to be fixed straight away. As well as the person who committed the crime needs to be accounted for. A serious offence can be done by punishable by law. So if someone has a criminal record, they can't travel overseas. That's an important point as well. If someone has a criminal record, they can't travel overseas. Right. Magistrate courts can do some things, not everything. Maximum sentence is 6 months. Or £3,000 fine. All offences start in the magistrate's court. They could then potentially be referred to the Crown Court. Once at the Crown Court, that's if it's more serious, if it's murder, manslaughter, fraud. And forgery, as well as other types of as well as other things such as drug-related offences, robbery, burglary, sexual offences, criminal damage, violence against a person. So, victimless crimes are ones against the property, state, or person. Right. Causes of crime. Genetics, psychological upbringing. That's also known as nature. We'll do nature, nurture and unit 2. So don't worry if you don't know what that is at the moment. We'll cover that later. Psychological, psychology, something, genetics, basically, genetics. Society, due to poverty or other things, or maternal deprivation, not having enough money. Peer pressure by groups. And they're all different types of crime which can be committed due to different factors. Right, so we have to do now about why some crimes not reported. Some crimes might not be reported due to not enough police resources to go around to have a look at every single case. Well, so I mean, that's for if they're not recorded, sorry. Let me rephrase that. Some crimes may not be reported because of previous people knowing about it but not telling the police about it. That's if they're not reported. Or even if they are reported, why they're not dealt with, that's because they may be busy on other things. So it can lead to the statistic not always being valid. Types of punishment, fines. That's where it's just fines given out to people, as I mentioned, £3,000 maximum for the magistrates' court. Custodial sentences, referred to as imprisonment, normally used for violent crime, but due to overcrowding in prisons there's been a call for other types of punishment. Community service, that's where you're told to do a fixed number of hours doing a specific type of work due to a crime committed. And prohibition is the suspension of a jail sentence abide by certain conditions. These conditions can be things such as a suspended prison sentence, not allowed out of the country, things like that. Ways for punishment, they can do electronic tagging, so where they put electronic tag on your ankle, I believe it is, and they basically say to people you're not allowed out of the house at these certain hours, and if you do go out then they'll know about it and you'll be tracked basically, and you'll receive some sort of consequence for not following orders. I suppose there are certain conditions to stop antisocial behaviour. Must be in by 6 PM potentially, that's one type of as well. Capital punishment, death penalty is no longer legal in the UK. Right. And purpose of punishment, retribution, revenge. Offenders should suffer for what they've done. Incapacitation, impossible for criminals to offend, example in prison. Reformation, rehabilitation, change the behaviour of the offenders. Reparation, offenders should compensate victims for what they've done. And other types of punishment potentially could add. And that is about it in terms of what you need to know for punishment. So yeah, that's what you need to know. Thank you for watching this video. I'm going to do another video on science. There was some extra stuff yesterday which I didn't include in the video yesterday, which I need to include, so I'm going to do another video on that, and then we'll finish Unit 1. And I'm also going to do some exam questions, exam technique on how to answer a 20-mark question. In the papers you get given 2 20-mark questions, so you need to be sharp, razor sharp to answer those questions, so I'm going to be doing some videos on that. But if anyone's got any questions, let me know, and thank you for watching the video, and speak to you again soon. Thank you.